We've called for a new competition that ensures that low-performing grantees, as an essential tool for encouraging excellence, identifying poor performance, and opening up Head Start to new energetic organizations that may have great capacity to run high-quality programs. So it's our effort to continue to support and to strengthen Head Start, and to do so through this recompetition effort. And then, just last month, at the end of last month, we released new draft criteria for a race to the top for early learning. That's a new challenge, a $500 million program that builds upon the race to the top in our K-12 education arena and will unleash reform across the country. We believe that this program can have the same kind of impact, as I said, that we've had in the K-12 area, and really get states moving and thinking and stretching for the benefit of our children. Some states have made significant progress in shaping and developing early learning systems, and many have already begun to address the conditions necessary for promoting early learning and development. Leading states that have embarked on reform report a need for more integrated early learning services and programs, and a commitment to accountability to ensure that a system with multiple funding streams and settings improves outcomes for all children. The Race to the Top Early Learning Challenge will raise the bar and require states to address several questions that are critical to promoting quality in our early childhood programs. How can states measure the outcomes for children rather than measuring inputs, and better focus on the goal of delivering what's really needed for children to succeed when they enter kindergarten? How can states boost the quality of their programs and make progress on ensuring that the kids who need access to the best early learning environments are actually getting it? How can states better align and integrate their various early learning programs, supported through different funding streams, and focus on common standards and a common strategy to assess their programs? And how do we build the very best possible core of early learning educators to support the children in our early learning systems? These 4 questions shape the criteria that our administration released last month, criteria which were used and which were developed in a unique partnership between the Department of Education and the Department of Health and Human Services. Thus far, we've received 112 comments on these criteria, and that's just in the last 2 weeks, and we're preparing final applications for the Race to the Top release in mid-August. We will have a high bar for this challenge. That has been the signature element of Race to the Top K-12, and it will continue in this arena as well. We have to have a high bar because we need those high standards and meaningful assessments. They must develop a statewide quality rating system so that the state can identify and assist those programs that need improvement. And they will have to have a system for building the great core of educators that I just mentioned. It is, in our mind, work that is long, long, long overdue. Child care settings can't be glorified babysitting settings. They have to be environments where children are learning and thriving and growing to make sure that they are indeed ready to enter school and that they will indeed be successful later in life. While the well-being of children has improved over the past 2 to 3 decades, we know, you all know better than anyone, that there is so much work that remains to be done, and especially because of the tough economic times that we're facing right now. In all of these areas, whether it's healthcare or food security or fatherhood or education, we know that the federal government alone can't do it. The President has said that over and over and over again. We have to leverage the expertise and the resources and the assets of federal agencies and state and tribal and local governments, as well as our private and nonprofit sectors. We have to ensure a comprehensive approach that builds healthy, stable communities and provide a solid foundation for our children. No child should be falling behind in school because he or she can't hear the teacher or see the blackboard or because they're hungry. No child should fall behind because their parents aren't there to help with homework, or some loving adult isn't there to provide a hug and a sense of security, the things that make children feel secure and valued and nurtured and able to go out into the world and to thrive. And without question, no child should fall behind because they were never given access to the kind of education that their peers are getting across town. I refuse to accept, the President refuses to accept, that millions of our children will fail to reach their full potential because we fail to meet their basic needs. In a decent society, there are certain obligations that are not subject to trade-off or negotiation. So we need your continued work and your voices and your expertise and your advocacy so that we can continue to prioritize and fund the kind of agenda that's necessary for children and their families. And most importantly, we know that we will be most effective when we're all working together, that we need you to push us and to ask us tough questions. We need you to help us and to support us when we're moving in the right direction. Because for the good of children, the Obama administration looks forward to working with you and to making sure that all of our children have the bright future that they deserve. Thank you so much.